You are pure consciousness, and everything you behold, every circumstance, every event, every condition in your life is but a shadow, a reflection of your own wonderful human imagination. The fact that you are here listening to these words at this very moment is no mere coincidence. It is a divine appointment orchestrated by the depths of your own being. You see, time as we know it is merely a concept created by consciousness to experience succession. In reality, all moments exist simultaneously in the eternal NOL. Therefore, when I tell you to trust the timing of this message, I am asking you to recognize that your own divine self, your own wonderful human imagination, has drawn you to this moment for a specific purpose. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you questioned the timing of events in your life? How often have you wondered why now or why not sooner? I tell you with absolute certainty that every moment is the perfect moment, for it is chosen by the God within you, your own wonderful human imagination. In the book of Ecclesiastes, it is written, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." This is not speaking of some external force determining your timing. No, it is speaking of you, the operant power, choosing the perfect moment for your own awakening. The very fact that you are receiving this message today is proof that you are ready for it. Your consciousness has expanded to the point where you can receive and integrate this profound truth. You see, consciousness is the only reality. And as your consciousness expands, new truths become available to you. This is why you must trust the timing. Let me share with you a principle that I have tested countless times, and I invite you to test it for yourself. The principle is this: your outer world is nothing more than your inner world pushed out. Therefore, if this message has reached you today, it is because your inner world is ready for the transformation it contains. Many of you sit here wondering about your desires, your manifestations, your dreams. You question why they haven't materialized yet. But I tell you, timing is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens from you. You are the operant power. You are the one determining the timing through your state of consciousness. When you truly understand this principle, you will never again question the timing of anything in your life. You will know with unwavering certainty that everything unfolds in perfect divine order, your divine order. For you are God pushed out into expression, and God's timing is always perfect. Now, let me explain something that many find difficult to grasp. The time it takes for your desire to materialize in the physical world is directly proportional to the naturalness of the state you assume. When you truly inhabit the state of your wish fulfilled, when it becomes so natural that you cease to think about it, that is when it materializes. This is why you must trust the timing. For when you trust, you relax into the naturalness of your desired state. When you trust, you cease to wrestle with time. And in that cessation of struggle, your manifestation appears with a naturalness that makes you wonder why you ever doubted. Consider the growth of a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't fret about when it will become a tree. It doesn't compare its growth to other seeds. It simply rests in the certainty of its own unfolding. This is the level of trust you must cultivate in the timing of your own manifestations. You see, the outside world is dead. It has no power to determine when things happen in your life. It is your consciousness, your imagination, that gives life to everything you experience. Therefore, when this message reaches you, it is because your consciousness has drawn it to you at the perfect moment for your evolution. Let me share with you a profound truth that few understand. Time is not a barrier to your desires' fulfillment. Your concept of time is. When you truly grasp that all possibilities exist now, that all states are available now, you will cease to be a slave to time and become its master. The Bible tells us, in the beginning was the Word. This beginning is not some distant past event. It is now. Every moment is the beginning. And in every moment you are speaking the word, imagining that creates your reality. Therefore, trust at this moment This Enodao is the perfect beginning for whatever you desire to manifest. Many of you have been waiting for signs for the perfect moment to start living from your desired state. I tell you, the arrival of this message is your sign. The fact that you are hearing these words is your perfect moment. For in truth, there is no waiting, there is only accepting or rejecting the state you desire to occupy. Think about the times in your life when something arrived at what seemed like the perfect moment. Was it not true that your state of consciousness had shifted just before its arrival? This is the law operating with mathematical precision. Your state of consciousness determines the timing of everything in your life. When you understand this law, you will never again say, I'm not ready or it's not the right time. You will know that your consciousness is always ready, that every moment is the right time. For consciousness is the only reality. Consider how many times in your life you've looked back and understood why certain things happened when they did. This retroactive understanding is proof that there is a divine order to all things, an order that proceeds from your own wonderful human imagination. The great mystic Meister Eckhart said, "The eye through which I see God is the same eye through which God sees me." In the same way, the consciousness through which you perceive this message is the same consciousness that orchestrated its arrival in your experience. Therefore, trust it completely. You see, what appears to be timing is really the perfect synchronization between your state of consciousness and its outer manifestation. When you change your state of consciousness, the timing of events in your life changes automatically. This is why you must trust the timing of this message. It is evidence of your own inner transformation. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. The very doubt you might feel about the timing of things in your life is itself perfectly timed. For it is through doubting that you come to seek deeper understanding. And through seeking that you come to know the truth of who you really are. Remember the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was sold into slavery, imprisoned, and seemed to suffer many delays before his rise to power. But was any of it poorly timed? No. Every event was perfectly orchestrated to bring about the fulfillment of his divine destiny. Your life is no different. The secret is this. Instead of trying to time your manifestations, allow your manifestations to time themselves through your unwavering faith in the law. When you do this, you will discover that everything happens at exactly the right moment. Not according to your limited human understanding, but according to the infinite wisdom of your divine self. Many of you have been told to be patient, to wait for the right time. But I tell you something different. There is no waiting in consciousness. The moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you have activated the divine timing. Your only task then is to persist in that state until it becomes your natural state of being. Think of it this way: when you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust the invisible process that transforms that seed into a mighty tree. Similarly, when you plant a desire in your consciousness, you must trust the invisible process that brings it into manifestation. This message reaching you today is like that seed being planted. It contains within it everything necessary for its full manifestation in your life. Your task is not to question the timing, but to nurture it with your faith and water it with your unwavering assumption that what you desire is already yours. The Bible tells us that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This faith is not a blind belief in future events. It is the present evidence of an existing reality in consciousness. When you have this faith, timing becomes irrelevant, because you know that what is yours in consciousness must manifest in your experience. Let me share with you a profound truth that has transformed countless lives. The timing of your manifestations is not determined by external conditions or circumstances. It is determined solely by the consistency of your assumption. When you consistently assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, divine timing takes over. You see, what appears to be delay is often divine preparation. Just as a mother carries her child for 9 months before birth, your desires are being carried in the womb of your consciousness until the perfect moment of their birth into physical reality. Trust this process implicitly. Consider how the entire universe operates with perfect timing. The rotation of the earth, the movement of the planets, the changing of the seasons. This same divine intelligence that orchestrates the cosmos is within you, timing the manifestation of your desires with equal precision. The very fact that you are receiving this message now is evidence of this perfect timing. Your consciousness has expanded to the point where you can receive and integrate these truths. This is why you must trust the timing. It is a reflection of your own spiritual readiness. Remember, in the realm of consciousness, there is no past or future, only the eternal no. Therefore, the perfect timing for anything you desire is always now, provided you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is the secret of divine timing. Many of you struggle with what you call divine timing versus your timing. But I tell you, there is no difference. Your timing, I has divine timing, for you are the divinity you seek. The only thing that delays your manifestation is your belief in delay. When you truly understand that consciousness is the only reality, you will cease to concern yourself with timing altogether. For in consciousness, everything exists, no you. Your only task is to select the state you wish to occupy and persist in it until it becomes your reality. Let me tell you something that few understand. Time is not a factor in the fulfillment of your desires. It is your attitude toward time that determines when your desires will manifest. When you cease to be anxious about timing, divine timing naturally takes over. You see, anxiety about timing is a confession of lack of faith in the law. When you truly believe that what you have assumed in consciousness must manifest, you become indifferent to time. This indifference is the secret of perfect timing. Consider how a flower blooms. It doesn't force itself open, it unfolds naturally in its own perfect timing. Your desires manifest in the same way when you trust the process and allow them to unfold naturally according to the law of consciousness. The fact that this message has reached you today is proof that you are ready for this understanding. Your consciousness has drawn it to you at the perfect moment for your spiritual evolution. Trust this timing implicitly. Remember, everything in your life, every person, every circumstance, every event is drawn to you by your state of consciousness. Therefore, trust that your present state of consciousness has drawn this message to you for a divine purpose. Let me share with you a secret that will transform your understanding of timing. The interval between your desire and its manifestation is not a period of waiting. It is a period of preparation. During this interval, you are being prepared to receive what you have imagined. Many of you think that your manifestations are taking too long. But I tell you, nothing takes too long when you understand that time is simply the movement of events in consciousness. The only thing that can delay your manifestation is your own doubt and anxiety about its timing. You see, when you truly understand that consciousness is the only reality, you will know that timing is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens from you. Your state of consciousness determines the timing of everything in your life. Consider this: every desire you have ever fulfilled came at exactly the right moment. Not a moment too soon or too late. This is because your consciousness, which is God, knows the perfect timing for everything. Trust this divine wisdom within you. The very fact that you are hearing these words now is evidence of this perfect timing. Your consciousness has expanded to the point where you can receive and integrate these profound truths. This is why you must trust the timing of this message. Remember, in the world of Caesar, the outer world, there appears to be time and space. But in the world of consciousness, the inner world, everything exists now. Your task is to bridge these worlds through your faithful assumption of the state of your wish fulfilled. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. The timing of your manifestations is not determined by your actions in the outer world, but by your assumption in the inner world. When your assumption is natural and unwavering, perfect timing follows automatically. You see, what appears to be delay is often divine protection. Just the fruit must ripen before it can be harvested. Your desires must ripen consciousness before they can manifest in your experience. Trust this ripening process implicitly. Consider how everything in nature has its own perfect timing. The gestation of a baby, the metamorphosis of a butterfly, the changing of the seasons. Your desires operate according to the same divine law of perfect timing. The fact that this message has reached you today is no accident. It is evidence of your own expanded consciousness drawing to you the very understanding you need at this moment. Trust this divine orchestration. Remember, you are not a helpless being waiting for the right time to receive your good. You are the operant power selecting the perfect timing through your state of consciousness. Trust this power within you. Many of you have been taught to believe in external timing, in luck, in chance, in fate. But I tell you, there is no external timing. There is only the timing that proceeds from your own wonderful human imagination. Let me share with you a truth that will set you free. The timing of your manifestations is not determined by conditions in the outer world, but by the consistency of your assumption in the inner world. When your assumption is unwavering, perfect timing follows naturally. You see, what appears to be waiting is really the operation of law. Just as a seed must go through a specific process before it becomes a tree, your desires must go through a specific process in consciousness before they manifest in experience. Consider how many times in your life something arrived at what seemed like just the right moment. Was this coincidence? No. It was the perfect operation of law. Your consciousness drawing to you exactly what you needed at exactly the right time. The very fact that you are receiving this understanding now is proof of this perfect timing. Your consciousness has expanded to the point where you can receive and integrate these profound truths. Trust this expansion implicitly. Remember, in the realm of consciousness, there is no such thing as too early or too late. There is only the perfect know-all, in which all possibilities exist simultaneously. Your task is to select the state you wish to occupy and trust the timing of its manifestation. Let me tell you something that few understand. The interval between your desire and its manifestation is not empty time. It is filled with the invisible activity of consciousness, preparing the way for your desire's fulfillment. Trust this invisible activity. You see, when you truly understand that consciousness is the only reality, you will know that timing is not something that happens to you. It is something that proceeds from you. Your state of consciousness determines the timing of everything in your life. Consider the perfection of timing in your own life. How certain events had to happen in a specific order to bring you to where you are now. This same divine intelligence is at work in the timing of your current desires. The fact that this message has reached you today is evidence of this perfect timing. Your consciousness has drawn it to you at exactly the right moment for your spiritual evolution. Trust this divine orchestration completely. Remember, you are not subject to time. Time is subject to you. For you are pure consciousness, and consciousness is the only reality. Therefore, trust that your timing is always perfect, because it proceeds from your own divine self. Many of you worry about missed opportunities or lost time. But I tell you, in consciousness, there is no such thing as a missed opportunity or lost time. There is only the eternal Noel, in which all possibilities exist simultaneously. Let me share with you a profound truth. The timing of your manifestations is not determined by your efforts in the outer world, but by your ability to remain faithful to your assumption in the inner world. When your faith is unwavering, perfect timing follows naturally. You see, what appears to be delay is really the preparation of circumstances necessary for the fulfillment of your desire. Just as a mother carries her child for 9 months before birth, your desires must be carried in consciousness before their manifestation. Consider how everything in nature has its perfect timing: the blooming of a flower, the ripening of fruit, the changing of seasons. Your desires operate according to the same divine law of perfect timing. The very fact that you are hearing these words now is evidence of this perfect timing. Your consciousness has expanded to the point where you can receive and integrate these profound truths. Trust this expansion implicitly. Remember, you are not waiting for the right time. You are creating the right time through your consciousness. For consciousness is the only reality, and everything in your world proceeds from it. Let me tell you something that will transform your understanding of timing. The interval between your desire and its manifestation is not a period of waiting. It is a period of becoming. During this interval, you are becoming the person who has what you desire. You see, when you truly understand that consciousness is the only reality, you will know that timing is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens through you. Your state of consciousness determines the timing of everything in your life. Consider how many times in your life divine timing has worked in ways you couldn't understand until later. This is because your higher self, your divine consciousness, knows the perfect sequence of events necessary for the fulfillment of your desires. The very resistance you feel to trusting timing is itself perfectly timed. For it is through this resistance that you come to understand the true nature of your own consciousness and its power to orchestrate all events in your life. Let me share with you a profound truth. There is no such thing as the right time or the wrong time in the absolute sense. There is only your conception of time, and this conception is determined by your state of consciousness. You see, what appears as timing in the outer world is really the movement of states in consciousness. When you move from one state to another in consciousness, the outer world must reorganize itself to reflect this movement. This reorganization appears as timing. Consider the story of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt. Was there a wrong time or right time for their exodus? No, the timing was determined by their consciousness, by their readiness to leave the state of bondage and enter the state of freedom. The fact that you are receiving this message today is proof of this principle. Your consciousness has shifted to the point where you are ready to receive and integrate these truths. This is why you must trust the timing implicitly. Remember, everything in your world is yourself pushed out. Therefore, the timing of events in your life is not determined by external factors, but by the movements of your own consciousness. Many of you question why certain desires haven't manifested yet. But I tell you, the very questioning is evidence that you are not yet dwelling naturally in the state of fulfillment. For when you truly dwell in that state, all sense of timing dissolves. Let me share with you the ultimate secret of divine timing. It is not about waiting for the right moment. It is about assuming the right state now. When you do this, divine timing takes care of itself. You see, in the realm of consciousness, there is no future to wait for and no past to regret. There is only the eternal know-how in which all possibilities exist simultaneously. Your task is to select the state you wish to occupy, no doubt. Consider how a master artist knows exactly when to apply each brushstroke. This knowing doesn't come from external timing. It comes from an inner sense of rightness. Your manifestations work in the same way. The very fact that you are hearing these words now is evidence of this perfect artistic timing. Your consciousness has drawn them to you at exactly the right moment for your spiritual evolution. Remember, you are not a victim of time. You are its master. For you are pure consciousness, and consciousness is the only reality. Therefore, trust that your timing is always perfect. because it proceeds from your own divine self. As we conclude this message, I want you to understand something profound. The timing of its arrival in your life is not accidental. It is a direct reflection of your expanded consciousness, your readiness to receive these truths. You see, consciousness is eternal, existing outside of time and space. Therefore, when you operate from consciousness rather than from the limited perspective of the outer world, you align yourself with perfect divine timing. Trust then that this message has reached you today, because today is the perfect day for your consciousness to expand into this understanding. Trust that every desire in your heart is unfolding to divine timing, your divine timing. For you are the operant power, the divine presence, expressing itself through the vehicle of your human imagination. Trust this power implicitly, for it knows the perfect timing for all things. And now, as we bring this message to its close, remember this eternal truth. You are not bound by time. You are the creator of time. You are not waiting for the right moment. You are the creator of all moments. Therefore, trust the timing of this message. Trust the timing of your desires. Trust the timing of your life. For all timing proceeds from consciousness, and consciousness is who you really are. Now go forth in this understanding, knowing that every moment is the right moment when you dwell in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. For timing is not your master, you are the master of timing. And that, my beloved friends, is the perfect truth of perfect timing. Remember, the very fact that you remain to hear this message to its conclusion is evidence of your readiness to receive its truth. Trust this divine orchestration, for it proceeds from the depths of your own being. For in truth, there is only one time, the eternal now thou. And in this NOU, you are already all that you desire to be. Trust this, live from this, and watch as divine timing unfolds perfectly in your life.
My dear friends, our topic, to grow you must suffer, may at first seem paradoxical, even disheartening. But I assure you, within this statement lies the key to unlocking your greatest potential, to manifesting your deepest desires, and to truly realizing the divine nature that resides within you. Now, when I speak of suffering, I do not mean the needless pain that we often inflict upon ourselves through our misguided thoughts and beliefs. No, the suffering I speak of is the deliberate, conscious choice to step out of our comfort zones, to challenge our long-held assumptions, and to embrace the discomfort that inevitably comes with transformation. You see, my beloved, we are all God in disguise. We are the infinite consciousness that has taken on human form, and within us lies the power to create and shape our reality. But to fully realize this power, to truly embody our divine nature, we must be willing to shed our old selves, our limited beliefs, and our comfortable illusions. And this shedding, this transformation, inevitably involves a degree of suffering. Think for a moment of the caterpillar. In order to become the beautiful butterfly it is destined to be, it must first enter the chrysalis. Within this dark, confined space, it undergoes a complete transformation. So form literally dissolves. And from this dissolution, a new form emerges. Can you imagine the discomfort, the uncertainty, the sheer intensity of this process? Yet without this period of suffering, of dissolution and reformation, the caterpillar could never become the butterfly. We too must be willing to enter our own chrysalis. We must be willing to dissolve our old selves, our limiting beliefs, our comfortable but constraining identities. Only through this process can we emerge as the magnificent beings we truly are. But here's the crucial point, my dear friends. This suffering is not something that happens to us. It is something we choose. It is an act of will, a deliberate decision to grow, to evolve, to become more than we currently are. In this choice lies our power, our divinity, our ability to shape our own. Now you might be wondering, Neville, how can I choose to suffer? Isn't suffering something we naturally avoid? And to this I say, it all begins with your imagination. For as I have always taught, your imagination is the God within you. It is the creative power through which you shape your reality. So, I invite you now to close your eyes. Imagine yourself as you wish to be. See yourself embodying the qualities you desire, living the life you dream of. Feel the joy, the fulfillment, the sense of purpose that comes with this vision. Now, what I let go of to become this person? What comfortable illusions, what limiting beliefs, what aspects of my current self must I be willing to sacrifice? As you contemplate these questions, you may feel a sense of resistance, of fear, of discomfort. This, my beloved, is the suffering I speak of. It is the natural response of your current self to the prospect of change, of transformation. But remember, this suffering is not your enemy. It is the signpost pointing the way to your growth, to your evolution, to the realization of your true divine nature. Now, you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't this at odds with your teachings about the law of assumption? Haven't you always said that we should assume the feeling of our wish fulfilled? And to this, I say, there is no contradiction. For in choosing to suffer for your growth, in willingly embracing the discomfort of transformation, you are in fact assuming the state of one who's committed to their evolution, who is willing to do whatever it takes to manifest their desired reality. You see, the law of assumption is not about avoiding all discomfort or difficulty. It's about aligning your thoughts, your feelings, your very being with the reality you wish to create. And sometimes that alignment requires us to move through discomfort, to face our fears, to challenge our limitations. In doing so, we are assuming the state of one who is capable of growth, of transformation, of manifesting their desires against all odds. Consider for a moment the great figures of history, the spiritual masters, the innovators, the revolutionaries. Did they achieve their greatness by remaining comfortable, by avoiding all suffering? No, they willingly embraced the challenges, the difficulties, the suffering that came with pursuing their vision. They understood that this suffering was not an obstacle to their growth, but the very means by which they would achieve it. So too must we be willing to embrace our own suffering, our own challenges, our own transformative experiences. For in doing so, we are not victims of circumstance, but conscious creators of our own evolution. We are God in action, shaping our reality through our willingness to grow, to change, to become more than we currently are. Now, let us delve deeper into the nature of this suffering. It is not physical pain or external hardship that I speak of, though these may sometimes be part of our journey. No, the suffering I refer to is primarily internal. It is the discomfort of challenging our own beliefs, of questioning our assumptions. This suffering might manifest as the anxiety you feel when you step out of your comfort zone. It might be the sense of loss you experience as you let go of old identities or relationships that no longer serve your growth. It might be the confusion and uncertainty that comes with questioning long-held beliefs or ways of being. But here's the beautiful truth, my dear friends. This suffering is temporary. It is a bridge, a passage, a transformative process. On the other side of this suffering lies growth, expansion, and a deeper realization of your true nature. Think of it like this. When you exercise your physical body, you experience discomfort. Your muscles strain, your breath becomes labored, you may even feel pain. But it is through this very discomfort that your body grows stronger, more resilient, more capable. The suffering is temporary, but the growth, the transformation is lasting. So too is it with our spiritual and personal growth. The discomfort we feel as we challenge our limitations, as we step into new ways of being, as we align ourselves with our highest vision, this discomfort is the very means by which we grow, is the resistance against which we push to become stronger, more aligned. But remember, my beloved, you are not alone in this process. For the God within you, your own wonderful human imagination, is always with you, always supporting you, always guiding you towards your highest good. This God power within you knows the end from the beginning. It sees the magnificent butterfly even as you struggle within the chrysalis. So, as you embrace the suffering that comes with growth, I urge you to lean on this inner power. Use your imagination to see beyond the current discomfort, to hold fast to the vision of what you are becoming. For as you hold this vision, as you assume the feeling of already being that which you desire to be, you set in motion the forces that will bring this vision into reality. Now, let us address a common misconception. Some may hear this teaching and think that it advocates for a life of constant struggle, of unending hardship. But this is not so. The suffering I speak of is purposeful, intentional. It is not about seeking out pain or difficulty for its own sake, but about being willing to move through discomfort for the sake of your growth, your evolution, your self-realization. Moreover, as you embrace this approach to growth, as you become more comfortable with the discomfort of transformation, you will find that your capacity for joy, for peace, for fulfillment actually expands. For you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances, no longer limited by your fears or doubts. You become free to fully express your divine nature, to live from a place of power and purpose. Consider that. Have you ever achieved something significant, something that required great effort and perseverance? Perhaps you completed a challenging project, overcame a fear, or mastered a new skill. Remember the sense of accomplishment, the joy, the expanded sense of self that came with this achievement. This is the fruit of growth through suffering. The discomfort you experienced in the process was temporary, but the growth, the expansion, the realization of your capabilities, these are lasting. My dear friends, I invite you to embrace this truth. To grow, you must suffer. But know that this suffering is not a punishment, not a burden, but a gift. It is the means by which you shed your limitations, realize your potential, and step into the fullness of your divine nature. As you go forth from here, I encourage you to look at the challenges in your life with new eyes. See them not as obstacles to be avoided, but as opportunities for growth, for transformation, for the expression of your divine nature. Ask yourselves, what am I being called to let go of? What comfort zone am I being invited to step out of? What aspect of my divine nature is seeking expression through this challenge? And as you contemplate these questions, remember that you have within you the power to choose your response. You can choose to shrink back, to avoid the discomfort, to remain as you are. Or you can choose to lean in, to embrace the challenge, to willingly step into the chrysalis of transformation. My beloved, I urge you to choose the latter. For in doing so, you are choosing to align yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are choosing to be an active participant in your own evolution, in the unfolding of your divine nature. Now, let us delve deeper into the practical application of this principle. How do we actually embrace suffering for the sake of growth? How do we navigate the discomfort of transformation while maintaining our faith in the process? First and foremost, we must cultivate awareness. We must become conscious observers of our own thoughts, feelings, and reactions. When you encounter a challenge or a difficulty, pause. Take a breath. Observe your initial reaction. Do you feel fear? Resistance? A desire to retreat to what's familiar and comfortable. Acknowledge these feelings without judgment. They are natural responses of your current self, your current state of consciousness. But remember, you are not bound by these reactions. You have the power to choose your response. In that moment of awareness, you have the opportunity to make a conscious choice. Will you allow your fear or discomfort to dictate your actions? Or will you choose to move forward, to embrace the challenge as an opportunity for growth? This choice, my dear friends, is where your power lies. It is in this moment that you can align yourself with your highest vision, with the divine nature within you. It is here that you can choose to suffer, to move through discomfort for the sake of your growth. But how do we find the strength to make this choice, especially when the discomfort feels overwhelming? This is where the power of your imagination comes into play. For as I have always taught, your imagination is your direct link to the divine, to the creative power of the universe. So, in that moment of choice, I invite you to use your imagination. Close your eyes and see yourself as you wish to be. Feel the strength, the courage, the divine power flowing through you. Imagine yourself moving through the challenge with grace and ease. growing stronger and more aligned with each step. As you hold this image in your mind, as you feel the reality of it in your body, you are tapping into the God power within you. You are aligning yourself with the version of you that has already overcome this challenge, that has already grown through this suffering. From this aligned state, you will find the strength to embrace the discomfort, to move forward despite your fears or doubts. For you are no longer acting from your limited current self, but from the expanded divine self that you are in the process of becoming. Now, as you begin to consciously choose growth through suffering, you may find that your perception of suffering itself begins to shift. What once seemed like insurmountable obstacles may begin to appear as stepping stones on your path of evolution. The discomfort you feel may begin to be tinged with excitement, with the anticipation of the growth and expansion that lies on the other side. This shift in perception is a sign of your growing alignment with your divine nature. For from the perspective of your highest self, all experiences, even those we might label as suffering, are opportunities for growth, for the expression of your true nature. But, my dear friends, I must caution you. This path of conscious growth, of willingly embracing suffering for the sake of your evolution, is not always easy. There will be times when you falter, when the discomfort seems too great, when you long to retreat to the familiar and comfortable. In these moments, be gentle with yourself. Remember that you are in the process of a profound transformation. Just as the caterpillar might struggle within the chrysalis, so too will you have moments of doubt, of fear. But here's the beautiful truth. Even in these moments of struggle, you are growing. Even when you feel lost or overwhelmed, the process of transformation is still unfolding within you. For the very act of choosing this path, of willingly stepping into the chrysalis of transformation, has set in motion forces beyond your current understanding. So, in those difficult moments, I urge you to return to your imagination. See yourself as the butterfly you are becoming. Feel the strength, the beauty, the freedom that awaits you on the other side of this transformation. Let this vision sustain you, guide you, pull you forward even when the path seems dark or uncertain. And remember, my beloved, you are never alone in this process. The God within you, your own wonderful human imagination, is always with you, always supporting you, always guiding you towards your highest good. Lean on this inner power. Trust in the process. Have faith in your own divine nature and its ability to carry you through any challenge, any suffering, towards your ultimate growth and realization. Now let's address another aspect of this principle. The role of resistance in our growth process. You see, when we decide to grow, when we choose to step out of our comfort zones and embrace the suffering that comes with transformation, we often encounter resistance. This resistance can come from within ourselves, in the form of doubts, fears, or old habits. It can also come from the world around us, from people or circumstances that seem to oppose our growth. It is a profound truth. This resistance is not an obstacle to our growth. In fact, it is an essential part of the growth process. Just as a seed must push against the soil to sprout and grow, so too must we push against resistance to realize our full potential. Think of it this way. If there were no resistance, no challenge, no suffering to move through, how would we grow? How would we discover the depths of our strength, the extent of our capabilities, the true nature of our divine selves? So when you encounter resistance on your path of growth, do not be discouraged. Instead, see it as a sign that you are on the right track. See it as an opportunity to flex your spiritual muscles, to deepen your commitment to your growth, to more fully embody your divine nature. And remember, my dear friends, that your response to this resistance is a choice. You can choose to see it as an insurmountable obstacle, as a reason to give up or turn back. Or you can choose to see it as a teacher, as a catalyst for your growth, as the very means by which you become more than you currently are. Again, this is where the power of your imagination comes into play. When you encounter resistance, use your God-given power of imagination to see beyond it. Imagine yourself moving through the resistance with ease and grace. Feel the strength and determination flowing through you. See yourself emerging on the other side stronger, wiser, more fully aligned with your true nature. As you hold this image in your mind, as you assume the feeling of having already overcome the resistance, you set in motion the forces that will make this vision a reality. For remember, your imagination is not mere fantasy. It is the creative power of the universe expressing itself through you. Now, let us delve into another crucial aspect of this principle: the importance of faith in the growth process. When we choose to grow through suffering, when we willingly step into the chrysales of transformation, we are often stepping into the unknown. We cannot always see the end from the beginning. We cannot always know exactly how we will emerge on the other side. This is where faith comes in. Not blind faith, not passive acceptance, but an active, living faith in the divine process of growth and transformation. A faith in your own divine nature and its ability to guide you through any challenge, any suffering towards your ultimate good. This faith, my beloved, is not something outside of you. It is not something you need to acquire or earn. It is an inherent part of your divine nature, a natural expression of the God within you. To access this faith, you need only to turn within, to connect with the deepest part of yourself, the part that knows the truth of who you are and what you are capable of becoming. So, as you embrace the suffering that comes with growth, I urge you to cultivate this faith. Nurture it through your imagination, through your conscious choice to trust in the process even when you cannot see the outcome. Let this faith be your anchor in moments of doubt, your light in times of darkness. And remember, this faith is not about believing that everything will always be easy or comfortable. It's about trusting that everything you experience, including the suffering, the challenges, the resistance, is ultimately serving your growth, your evolution, your self-realization. Now let us address a question that may be arising in your minds. Neville, how do we discern between the suffering that leads to growth and needless suffering that only holds us back? This, my dear friends, is a crucial distinction. For not all suffering leads to growth. There is suffering that comes from resistance to what is, from holding on to what no longer serves us, from refusing to align with our true nature. This kind of suffering does not lead to growth, but to stagnation and frustration. The suffering that leads to growth, on the other hand, is always aligned with your highest vision for yourself. It is the discomfort that comes from stepping out of your comfort zone, from challenging your limitations, from aligning yourself more fully with your divine nature. This suffering has a purpose, a direction, a transformative power. To discern between these two types of suffering, you must cultivate deep self-awareness. You must be willing to honestly examine your motivations, your desires, your fears. Ask yourself, is this suffering moving me towards my highest vision for myself? Is it challenging me to grow, to expand, to more fully embody my divine nature? Or is it keeping me stuck, repeating old patterns, resisting my own evolution? In conclusion, my beloved, remember this. To grow, you must suffer. But this suffering is not a punishment, not a burden, but a gift. It is the means by which you shed your limitations, realize your potential, and step into the fullness of your divine nature. Embrace it with courage, with faith, with the knowledge that on the other side of this suffering lies a version of you that is more aligned, more powerful, more fully expressive of your true divine self. Go forth and grow, my dear friends. The universe awaits your blossoming.
The secret I am about to share with you is this. Your imagination is the creative power of the universe, and what you assume to be true will invariably manifest in your reality. This is not metaphor or allegory, but the very foundation of existence itself. You are not merely experiencing reality, you are creating it in every moment through the power of your assumptions and beliefs. Now you might be wondering, Neville, if this is true, why am I not already living my ideal life? And therein lies the crux of our discussion today. Most people are unaware of this creative power within them. They live their lives reacting to external circumstances, not realizing that these very circumstances are the outpicturing of their inner states. You see, the world you experience is not happening to you. It is happening from you. Every circumstance, every event, every interaction in your life is a reflection of your inner assumptions. These assumptions are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And just as a seed grows into a plant, your assumptions grow into your experienced reality. This is why many people find themselves stuck in patterns of lack, of struggle, of not enoughness. They have unknowingly been planting these seeds in their subconscious mind through years of repetitive thoughts and feelings of limitation. But here's the liberating truth. You have the power to choose what seeds you plant. You have the ability to consciously assume the state of your wish fulfilled, regardless of your current circumstances. So how do we begin this process of conscious creation? The first step is to clearly define what you wish to experience. Be specific. Don't simply say, I want to be successful. Instead, imagine in vivid detail what your life looks like when you are living your ideal reality. How do you feel? What are you doing? How do you spend your time? The more specific and detailed your vision, the more clearly you communicate with your subconscious mind. Once you have this clear vision, the next step is to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is crucial. You must feel the reality of your desire now, not in some distant future. Remember, your subconscious mind doesn't understand time. It only understands the present moment. So if you constantly feel that your desire is something in the future, it will always remain in the future. Instead, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled now. How would you feel if your desire were already realized? Would you feel joyful, confident, free, grateful? Embody these feelings. Live from this state of being. This is not pretending or lying to yourself. This is assuming a new state of consciousness, which is the very essence of creation. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I feel something that isn't yet true? This is where the power of your imagination comes into play. Your imagination is the bridge between your current reality and your desired state. It is through your imagination that you can step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even before it manifests in the physical world. Your imagination is not a flight of fancy or a frivolous faculty. It is the very workshop wherein you fashion your future. When you imagine, you are experiencing reality at its most fundamental level. You are engaging with the pure potential of consciousness, shaping it with your attention and your assumption. To use your imagination effectively, you must first quiet your conscious mind. The chattering of your daily thoughts, your worries, your doubts, these must be silenced. Enter a state of relaxation, a state akin to sleep, but in which you remain consciously aware. In this state, your subconscious mind becomes more receptive to impression. Once in this relaxed state, construct your scene. This scene should be one that implies the fulfillment of your desire. If your desire is for a successful career, you might imagine yourself in your ideal office or receiving congratulations from colleagues. If it's financial abundance you seek, imagine yourself looking at your bank statement with joy and gratitude. The scene itself should be short and simple. It's not about creating an elaborate story, but about capturing a moment that implies your desire is now a fact. This scene is your platform, the stage upon which you will enact the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Now, step into this scene. Don't watch it as a spectator, but experience it from the first-person perspective. Be there in that moment. And as you experience it, let the feeling of fulfillment wash over you. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the satisfaction of having your desire realized. This is where many falter in their attempts at manifestation. They can see the scene clearly, but they fail to evoke the feeling. Remember, it is the feeling that gives life to your imaginal act. Without feeling, visualization is merely a mental exercise. With feeling, it becomes an act of creation. As you practice this, you may find that the feeling comes more easily with repetition. Each time you return to your scene, the feeling becomes more vivid, more real. This is good. You are strengthening the impression upon your subconscious mind. But here's a crucial point. Once you have evoked the feeling, once you have impressed it upon your subconscious, you must carry it with you into your waking life. This is where many stumble. They do their visualization exercise. They feel it intensely in the moment. But then they return to their daily life and fall back into old patterns of thought and feeling. To manifest your desire to keep winning, you must maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of contradictory evidence. This is where faith comes in. Not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. When you truly grasp this, you will no longer be swayed by appearances. You will know that what you see around you is the effect, not the cause. The cause lies in your consciousness, in your feeling. And as you persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your outer world must reshape itself to match this inner conviction. Now let us address a common challenge in this practice, the apparent contradictions of your senses. As you begin to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you may find that your current circumstances seem to contradict your assumption. How do you maintain your feeling in the face of these seeming contradictions? This is where the art of ignoring comes into play. To ignore is not to deny the existence of something, but to refrain from giving it your attention and energy. When contradictory evidence appears, acknowledge it briefly, then immediately return your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember, what you see in your outer world is the result of past assumptions, past feelings. It is like an echo of what you once believed. Your task now is to give more attention, more importance, more reality to your new assumption than to these outdated circumstances. This practice requires mental discipline. It requires you to stand firm in your new assumption, even when your senses argue against it. But remember, your senses only show you what has been, not what can be. Your imagination, informed by your feelings, shows you what will be. As you persist in maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of contradictory evidence, you will begin to see changes in your outer world. These changes may start small. A fortunate coincidence, an unexpected opportunity, a shift in someone's behavior towards you. Do not dismiss these as mere chance. They are the first fruits of your new assumption taking root. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of feeling and manifestation. When I speak of feeling, I am not referring merely to impatience, though emotions play a part. I am speaking of a deeper sense, a knowing, an unshakable conviction. It is the difference between saying I want to be successful and knowing in the very core of your being I am successful. This feeling conviction is not something you can fake or force. It arises naturally when you have successfully impressed your desire upon your subconscious mind. This is why the repeated use of your imagination is so crucial. Each time you return to your imaginal scene, each time you step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are deepening this impression. Think of it like wearing a groove in a record. The first time you play the record, the needle may skip and jump. But with repeated plays, the groove deepens and the music plays smoothly. Similarly, as you repeat your imaginal act, the feeling becomes more natural, more habitual. It becomes your dominant state. This is the state from which creation occurs. When you can maintain this feeling conviction throughout your day, when it becomes as natural as breathing, you have mastered the art of conscious creation. Your outer world has no choice but to conform to this inner state. This is the secret to never-ending winning. But what are those moments when doubt creeps in? When fear arises? When the old patterns of thought and feeling try to reassert themselves? These moments are inevitable, especially in the beginning of your practice. Do not be discouraged by them. Instead, See them as opportunities to strengthen your new assumption. When doubt arises, do not fight it. Fighting against the thought only gives it more power. Instead, gently but firmly return to your feeling of wish fulfilled. Remind yourself that what you see around you is the past. Your new assumption, your new feeling is creating your future. This brings us to another crucial aspect of winning, the concept of living in the end. Living in the end means assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled in your day-to-day life. It's not enough to visualize for a few minutes each day and then return to your old patterns of thought and feeling. You must carry the feeling of your wish fulfilled with you throughout your day. This doesn't mean you deny your current circumstances. Rather, you acknowledge them briefly, then immediately return to the feeling of your desire fulfilled. You live from the assumption that what you desire is already yours. For example, if your desire is for financial abundance, you would feel the security, freedom, and joy of wealth as you go about your day. When you make purchases, you would feel the ease and confidence of someone who has more than enough. When you interact with others, you would carry yourself with the assurance of a wealthy person. Living in the end requires a shift in your entire way of being. It's not about pretending or play acting. It's about genuinely assuming a new state of consciousness. When you do this effectively, you'll find that your actions naturally align with your assumed state, accelerating the manifestation process. Now let us address the role of action in this process of continuous winning. Some people mistakenly believe that manifesting means they can simply imagine their desires and then sit back and wait for them to magically appear. This is not the case. The secret to never-ending winning does not negate action, it informs action. When you successfully impress your desire upon your subconscious mind, when you truly feel your wish fulfilled, you will be inspired to take actions that align with this state. These actions will feel natural, even inevitable. They will not be driven by fear or lack, but will flow from your assumed state of fulfillment. This is a crucial distinction. When you take action from a place of lack, trying to get what you desire, you are actually affirming the assumption of not having it. But when you take action from the assumption of already having your desire fulfilled, you open yourself to infinite possibilities for its expression and expansion. So do not neglect action, but ensure that your actions are aligned with and flowing from your assumed state. Let your feeling guide your actions, rather than hoping your actions will create the feeling. This alignment of inner state and outer action is key to continuous winning. Now let us explore the concept of detachment in relation to winning. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about your desire. Rather, it means you're not anxiously attached to seeing immediate results or figuring out how your desire will manifest. When you're detached, you can imagine and feel your desire fulfilled without constantly looking for signs of its manifestation. You trust in the process, knowing that as you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, it must inevitably express itself in your outer world. Detachment allows you to live in the present moment while holding your assumed state. It frees you from the anxiety and doubt that can slow down the manifestation process. It allows you to enjoy the journey of manifestation rather than being solely focused on the destination. Practice detachment by reminding yourself that your imaginal act, imbued with feeling, is the reality. What you see in the outer world is just a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. As you persist in your new assumption, this shadow must change to match the new reality you're imagining and feeling. Let us now address the importance of gratitude in continuous winning. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion, it is a powerful creative force. When you feel genuinely grateful, you are affirming that you already have what you desire. This aligns perfectly with the principle of living in the end. Begin to cultivate an attitude of gratitude for your desire, even before you see it manifested in your physical reality. Be thankful for it as if it were already yours. Feel appreciation for the abundance that surrounds you in all forms, the air you breathe, the sun that shines, the food you eat. As you practice gratitude, you are assuming the state of someone who has their desire fulfilled. This assumption, persistently held, must manifest in your outer world as the realization of your desire. This is another key to never-ending winning. Now let us explore the power of revision in manifesting continuous wins. Revision is not merely about changing your memories or rewriting your past. It is about recognizing that the past only exists in your mind, and therefore it can be changed in your mind. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review the events of your day. If there were any events that were not to your liking, revise them in your imagination. See them unfolding in a way that aligns with your desired state. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment of this revised version of events. By doing this, you are not denying what physically happened. You are changing the impact of that event on your subconscious mind. You are impressing upon your subconscious a reality that aligns with your desires rather than one that contradicts them. As you make this practice of revision a habit, you will find that your reactions to current events begin to change. You'll become less reactive, more peaceful, more aligned with your desired states of being. This alignment accelerates the manifestation process, ensuring that you continue to win in all areas of life. Let us now discuss the importance of persistence in continuous winning. While we speak of manifesting desires, it's important to understand that the speed of manifestation can vary. Some desires may manifest almost instantly, while others may take more time. The key is to persist in your assumption, regardless of how long it seems to be taking. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. If you waver in assumption, if you lose faith in the process, you send mixed signals to your subconscious mind, which can slow down the manifestation process. Persistence doesn't mean forcing or struggling. It means consistently returning to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. It means choosing again and again to live from the end, to embody the state of having your desire realized. This persistence requires faith, not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and that as you persist in your new assumption, your world must reshape itself to match it. Now let us address the role of self-concept in continuous winning. Your self-concept, the beliefs you hold about who you are, is perhaps the most powerful factor in determining what you can manifest in your life. Many people struggle to manifest their desires because their self-concept contradicts what they're trying to achieve. They may visualize wealth, but deep down, they don't believe they're the kind of person who can be wealthy. They may imagine a loving relationship, but fundamentally believe they're unworthy of love. To win continuously, you must be willing to revise your self-concept. This involves imagining and feeling yourself as the person who already has what you desire. It's not about creating a false image of yourself, but about recognizing and embracing your true, limitless nature. Remember, at your core, you are pure consciousness. You are not defined by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are the awareness in which all these things appear. And this awareness, your true self, is infinite in its potential. As you use your imagination to assume your desired states, you are essentially recreating yourself. You are stepping into a new concept of self, a new understanding of who you are and what's possible for you. This revision of self-concept is crucial for continuous winning. As you align your self-concept with your desires, you remove the inner contradictions that can slow down the manifestation process. Now let us explore the role of emotion in never-ending winning. Emotion is the fuel that powers your imaginal acts. It's not enough to merely visualize or think about your desires. You must feel them. When you combine vivid imagination with genuine emotion, you create a powerful impression on your subconscious mind. This is because your subconscious responds more strongly to feeling than to intellectual thought. The emotions you want to cultivate are those you would feel if your desire were already realized. If your desire is for wealth, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with financial abundance. If it's a loving relationship you seek, feel the love, the connection, the companionship. These emotions should be so real, so intense, that when you open your eyes and return to your present circumstances, you carry with you a sense of fulfillment, as if your desire has already been realized. This emotional component is what distinguishes effective manifestation from mere daydreaming or wishful thinking. When you can genuinely feel your desire as an accomplished fact, you are impressing it upon your subconscious mind as a reality. Your subconscious then works tirelessly to bring this feeling into physical manifestation, ensuring your continuous winning. As we near the conclusion of our exploration, remember this: the power to win continuously lies within you. It resides in your ability to imagine vividly, to feel deeply, and to persist faithfully in the assumption of your wish fulfilled. The secret to never-ending winning is not determined by external factors, but by the intensity of your belief and the consistency of your imaginal acts. Go forth from here with this knowledge. Apply these principles in your daily life. Use your imagination consciously and deliberately to create scenes that imply the fulfillment of your desires. Feel the reality of your wish fulfilled with every fiber of your being. Persist in this feeling even when your senses deny it. For as you do, you are reshaping your entire world, manifesting your desires with a consistency that ensures you never stop winning. Remember, you are the operant power in your world. You are limited only by your ability to imagine and to feel the reality of your wishes fulfilled. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding and watch as your world transforms around you, reflecting the newfound mastery of your creative consciousness. The secret to never-ending winning is not something external to you. It is not a technique or a trick. It is the fundamental truth of your being, that you are the creator of your reality. As you align your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions with this truth, you step into a state of continuous creation, of perpetual winning. In your daily life, be vigilant. Be conscious of your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions. Choose them wisely, for they are the seeds of your future experiences. Let every thought be a thought of victory, every feeling a feeling of accomplishment, every assumption an assumption of success. For in doing so, you are creating a life of never-ending winning. As you embark on this journey of conscious creation, of continuous winning, know that you are aligning yourself with the very power that creates worlds. You are stepping into your divine birthright as a co-creator of reality. Embrace this power, use it wisely, and let it guide you to a life of unending success and fulfillment. Thank you, and may your journey of conscious creation be filled with joy, wonder, and the thrill of never-ending winning. Consider for a moment the way you typically approach your desires. You see something you want, be it wealth, love, success, or health, and you begin to strive for it. You work, you plan, you hope, always with the underlying belief that once you have it, then you'll feel the way you want to feel. But I say unto you, this approach is backwards. And it is the very reason why so many find themselves stuck in cycles of wanting and lacking. The secret, my dear listeners, is to feel it before you have it. This is not pretense or make-believe. It is the very essence of creation, the fundamental principle upon which all manifestation is based. For you see, your feelings are not the result of your reality. Your feelings are the cause of your reality. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, everything you experience in your physical reality, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. It is a mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you the sum total of your beliefs, assumptions, and most importantly, your feelings. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that waiting to feel a certain way until you have what you desire is akin to waiting for your reflection in the mirror to smile before you do. It is backwards, it is impossible, and it keeps you trapped in a state of perpetual wanting. But how, you may ask, can one feel something before it is physically present? The answer lies in the power of your wonderful human imagination. For your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker. It is the very workshop in which reality is forged. When you imagine yourself in the state of your wish fulfilled, when you assume the feeling of your desire realized, you are not engaging in idle daydreaming. You are engaging in the most powerful creative act known to man. You are impressing upon your subconscious mind a new concept of self, a new assumption about your reality. Let us take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true. And once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality. So when you feel the reality of your desire before it is physically present, you are not being delusional or engaging in wishful thinking. You are actively creating your reality from within. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, allowing it to work through you and for you. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of feeling it before you have it. It is about recognizing that what you seek is already within you, waiting to be expressed. It is about understanding that the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumptions and feelings. Consider the biblical phrase, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This is not about blind belief in something external. It is about the faith that comes from feeling the reality of your desire in the realm of imagination, knowing that this feeling is the very substance and evidence of its physical manifestation. But let me be clear, this is not about sitting idly and waiting for things to magically appear in your life. It is about a fundamental shift in consciousness. When you truly feel the reality of your desire, your actions naturally align with that feeling. You begin to think, speak, and act from the perspective of already being or having what you desire. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine a man who desires financial abundance. In the old paradigm, he might work tirelessly, constantly worrying about money, always feeling the lack of it. But in doing so, he is affirming his current state of lack. He is living from the assumption that he does not have abundance. And so the universe faithfully reflects this assumption back to him. Now, imagine this same man shifting his approach. Instead of focusing on the absence of money, he assumes the feeling of financial abundance. He feels the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with having more than enough. He lives each day from this feeling, carrying himself with the confidence and ease of someone who is truly abundant. In this state, he no longer desperately chases after money. He may still work, but he does so from a place of inspired action rather than desperate need. And in doing so, he becomes magnetic to financial opportunities. He allows abundance to flow into his life, drawn by the power of his assumption and the clarity of his vibration. This principle applies to every area of your life, my friends. Whether you seek love, health, success, or any other desire, the key is to feel it before you have it. For what you are seeking is also seeking you, but it can only find you when you align yourself with its frequency. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, isn't this just positive thinking? Isn't this denial of my current reality? And to this I say emphatically no. This is not about denying your current circumstances. It is about understanding the true nature of reality. Your current circumstances are nothing more than the fruit of your past assumptions and feelings. They have no power to determine your future, unless you give them that power by continuing to focus on them and feel their reality. When you shift your focus, when you assume a new feeling state, you are not denying reality. You are exercising your divine right to choose which reality you wish to experience. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness that gives life to your experiences. When you wait to feel good until your circumstances change, you are putting your power in the hands of shadows, reflections of past states of consciousness. But when you change your feeling state, when you assume a new inner reality, you cause the outer world to rearrange itself to match your new inner state. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to feeling it before you have it. It is about aligning yourself with the law of assumption, recognizing that what you seek is seeking you, and allowing it to flow into your experience through the power of your imagination and feeling. But let me warn you, this is not always an easy path. The old habits of reacting to external circumstances, of letting your feelings be dictated by what you see, are deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness. As you embark on this new way of being, you may find resistance arising within you. Doubts may creep in, old patterns may try to reassert themselves. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts and feelings. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to your new assumed feeling state. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want, but by persistently embodying the feeling of what you do want. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your current reality or forcefully push away unwanted circumstances. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of your desire, to align yourself with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This tuning is done through your imagination and your ability to generate feeling states. Your imagination is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you use your imagination to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, this is not a one-time event. It is a way of life. Just as you wouldn't expect to stay in shape by exercising once, you cannot expect to manifest your desires by feeling them once. This is about persistently assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, about living from that feeling state day in and day out until it becomes your new normal. As you do this, you will find that the very concept of waiting to feel begins to fade from your consciousness. For how can you wait to feel what you already feel? How can you anticipate what you are already experiencing in your imagination? This shift in perception is the key to feeling it before you have it, to experiencing your desires with immediacy and power. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I feel something I've never experienced? How can I generate a feeling for a reality I've never known? And to this I say your imagination is more powerful than any physical experience. Consider for a moment, have you ever read a book that moved you to tears? Or watched a film that filled you with joy or excitement? In those moments, were you responding to anything in your physical reality? No, you were responding to the images and scenarios created in your imagination. Your feelings were real, even though the events were imaginary. This is the power you must harness to feel it before you have it. You must use your imagination to create scenarios that evoke the feelings associated with your desire. If you want wealth, Imagine paying bills with ease. Imagine the feeling of financial security. Imagine the joy of generosity that comes with abundance. Feel these feelings as vividly and as consistently as you can. If you seek love, imagine the warmth of a loving embrace, the joy of shared laughter, the deep sense of connection and understanding. Feel these feelings as if they are your present reality. The key is to make these imaginal acts as vivid and as real to you as possible. Engage all your senses. If you're imagining wealth, feel the crisp bills in your hands, smell the leather of your new car, hear the sound of waves lapping at the shore of your beach house. Make it real in your mind and feelings will naturally follow. But here's a crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to imagine specific events or outcomes. The goal is to capture the essence of the feeling state associated with your desire. For it is this feeling state that is the true attractor of your desire. Let me illustrate this with an example. Suppose you desire promotion at work. You might be tempted to imagine a specific scenario. Your boss calling you into the office and offering you a particular position with a specific salary. While this can be a useful starting point, it is limiting. Instead, capture the feeling essence of the promotion. What does it feel like to be recognized for your skills? How does it feel to have increased responsibility and respect? What is the feeling of financial increase and career advancement? These feeling states are far more powerful and flexible than any specific scenario. By focusing on the feeling essence rather than specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring your desire to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of feeling it before you have it. It's not about forcing yourself to believe something that your senses deny. It's about tapping into the reality of your desire in the only place it truly exists, in your consciousness. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways. Perhaps people respond to you differently, or opportunities you never noticed before suddenly seem to appear, or solutions to problems come to you effortlessly. These are all signs that your inner shift is creating ripples in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your assumption is taking root. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to live from your assumed feeling state. As you persist in this practice, larger changes will begin to manifest. The full realization of your desire will unfold in ways that might surprise and delight you. But remember, the outer manifestation is not the goal. The goal is the feeling state from which your desire naturally flows. This is a crucial point, my friends. When you're truly feeling it before you have it, when you're fully embodying the feeling state of your wish fulfilled, you no longer need the outer manifestation to feel complete. You're already whole, already fulfilled in your imagination. And paradoxically, it's in this state of completeness that your desires flow most easily into your experience. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do something to bring our desires into manifestation? And to this I say, yes, action is part of the process. But it's inspired action, not frantic doing. When you're living from the feeling of your wish fulfilled, ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You'll feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions. These actions won't feel like effort or struggle. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. This is the difference between forcing and allowing. When you're trying to make something happen, actions feel forced, stressful, born out of fear and lack. When you're feeling it before you have it, actions flow naturally from your assumed state. guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly how to bring your desires into manifestation. Consider the example of a flower. A flower doesn't strain to grow. It doesn't force itself to bloom. It simply grows and blooms naturally in accordance with its inner nature. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you align yourself with the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you allow your own blossoming to occur naturally and effortlessly. But let me be clear, this feeling it before you have it is not passive. It requires an active use of your imagination, a deliberate assumption of the feeling state of your wish fulfilled. It requires faith, not blind faith in an external power, but faith in the creative power of your own consciousness. This faith is not about believing that your desire will manifest someday in the future. It's about believing that your desire is already yours in the realm of imagination, and that the outer world must inevitably conform to this inner reality. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in your assumed feeling state, you'll begin to see evidence of your desire manifesting in your outer world. These signs may start small. An overheard conversation that confirms your assumption, an unexpected opportunity that aligns with desire, a shift in how others respond to you. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem, for they are confirmation that your inner world is indeed shaping your outer reality. They are breadcrumbs leading you to the full manifestation of your desire. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching. Many worry that if they feel their desire fulfilled before it manifests, they'll become complacent or lose their motivation to take action in the world. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you're feeling the reality of desire, when you're aligned with the feeling state of your wish fulfilled, you become more motivated, more inspired than ever before. But it's a different kind of motivation. It's not the frantic, anxious energy of someone desperately chasing a goal. It's the calm, confident energy of someone who knows their desire is already theirs. In this state, you take inspired action not because you feel you have to, but because you want to. You move through life with a sense of joy and anticipation, eager to see how your inner state will manifest in your outer world. This is the true gift of feeling it before you have it. It's not just about manifesting specific desires, although that will happen. It's about aligning yourself with the flow of life, with the creative power of the universe. It's about recognizing your own divine nature and allowing it to express itself fully through you. In this state of alignment of feeling your desires as present realities, you become a channel for the infinite possibilities of the universe. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. Opportunities present themselves naturally. The right people and circumstances appear in your life at the perfect time. This is the magic of living from the state of your wish fulfilled. But remember, this magic is not something external to you. It's not some cosmic force that you need to appease or manipulate. It is the natural expression of your own consciousness when it's aligned with truth. You are the magic, you are the miracle. You are the creative power you've been seeking. As we draw our time together to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The principle we've explored tonight, the secret to feeling it before you have it, is not just a manifestation technique. It's a way of life. It's about recognizing your true nature as a divine creative being. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental laws of the universe. When you live from this understanding, everything changes. The world becomes a friendly place filled with infinite possibilities. You no longer see yourself as a small, separate being struggling against external forces. Instead, you recognize yourself as the creator of your reality, the author of your life story. In this state, there's no need to wait for anything. For you understand that everything you desire is already within you, waiting to be expressed. Your job is simply to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to live from that feeling state, and to allow the universe to take care of the details. So, my dear friends, as you leave here tonight, I urge you to start feeling it now. Don't wait for your circumstances to change to feel the way you want to feel. Choose your feeling state now. Use your mighty imagination to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Feel the naturalness of being or having what you desire. Live from this feeling state. Persist in this assumption and watch as the universe rearranges itself to match your inner state. Remember, you are not a helpless being pushed around by external circumstances. You are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness, your feeling states are the one and only reality. All things are possible to him who believes, for belief fueled by feeling shapes reality. Go forth from here with this knowledge, apply it in your life, test it, prove it to yourself, for in doing so, you'll discover the truth of who you really are. You'll tap into the limitless power that has always been within you. And you'll experience the joy, the freedom, the fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with the laws of creation. The world is waiting for you, my friends, not as something to strive towards, but as something to be experienced now, in the realm of feeling and imagination. It's waiting for you to recognize your true power, to step into your divine nature, to become the person you're meant to be. So feel it now. Feel the reality of your desires as vividly as you can. Let these feelings permeate every aspect of your being. For in truth, everything you desire is already yours in the realm of imagination. All you need to do is open your heart, embrace these feelings, and allow them to flow into your experience. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. The power to shape your reality is within you. You are the miracle you've been waiting for. Embrace this truth, live from it, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. As you practice feeling it before you have it, you may encounter moments of doubt or disbelief. This is natural. Your old patterns of thought and feeling will try to reassert themselves. When this happens, do not fight against these doubts. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to your assumed feeling state. Persistence is key. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. In your daily life, look for opportunities to reinforce your new feeling state. Find evidence, no matter how small, that supports your assumption. Celebrate these signs, for they are proof that your inner world is indeed shaping your outer reality. But do not become attached to these signs or anxiously seek them out. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to live from your assumed feeling state. As you continue on this journey, remember that you are not alone. The entire universe is conspiring to bring your desires into manifestation. Trust in this process. Have faith in the creative power of your own consciousness. For when you align your feelings with your desires, when you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you set in motion forces beyond your comprehension. Go forth now, my dear friends, and apply this principle in your lives. Feel the reality of your desires now before any external evidence appears. Live from that feeling state. Persist in that assumption and watch as the world rearranges itself to match your inner vision. For this is the true secret to feeling it before you have it. And it is the key to creating the life of your dreams. Tonight I shall share with you the most profound secret of creation, how to speak blessings upon yourself and instantly transform your entire world. So you see, when you truly understand how to bless yourself, you are engaging in the highest form of creation. So you are doing what God does continuously. Consider the first chapter of Genesis, where God speaks blessings upon his creation. Notice how he didn't ask anyone else to bless his work. He blessed it himself. This is the pattern you must follow, for you are that same creative power individualized as you. Let me share with you why blessing yourself is the most powerful act you can perform. First, you must understand that when you speak a blessing upon yourself, You are not engaging in mere positive thinking or affirmations. You are exercising your divine creative power, for you are God individualized as you. Many of you come to me seeking blessings from others, from teachers, from gurus, from religious leaders. But I tell you now, no one can bless you more powerfully than you can bless yourself. For you are the operant power in your world, and your word is the creative power of God in action. When you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are doing what God did in the beginning. Remember the words, and God blessed them. He didn't wait for someone else to bless his creation. He blessed it himself. And you, being made in his image and likeness, must do the same. Let me share with you the proper way to speak blessings upon yourself. First, you must understand that when you say, I bless myself, you are not speaking as a mortal being. You are speaking as God individualized. For your I am is God. And when you speak blessings from your I am, you are speaking with all the power of creation. Consider this: every time you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are literally recreating your world. For your word is God's word, and God's word cannot return void. It must accomplish that which it is sent to do. But and this is crucial, your blessings must be spoken with understanding and feeling. You cannot merely repeat words mechanically and expect results. You must feel the truth of the blessing as you speak it. For feeling is the secret. And without feeling, words are empty. Let me give you a perfect example from Scripture. When Isaac blessed Jacob, he felt the blessing as he spoke it. He wasn't just saying words, he was feeling the reality of what he was declaring. And this is exactly how you must speak blessings upon yourself. Many of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't it selfish to bless myself? Let me tell you something. It is the most unselfish thing you can do. For when you bless yourself, truly understanding that you are God individualized, you are blessing all of creation. For there is no other. What you see as others is yourself pushed out. Let me share with you how to properly structure your self-blessings. Begin with your I am. For this is the name of God. Then speak your blessing with absolute conviction. For example, I am blessed with perfect health. I am blessed with unlimited abundance. I am blessed with divine wisdom. But remember, these are not mere affirmations. They are acknowledgments of what is already true in consciousness. For when you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are not trying to make something true. You are acknowledging what is already true in the spiritual realm. Consider this principle I have tested and proven countless times. When you bless yourself, you are performing the highest act of creation. For in blessing yourself, you are acknowledging your divine nature, and what you acknowledge must manifest in your experience. Let me share with you the 3 aspects of effective self-blessing. First, there is recognition. When you bless yourself, you must recognize that you speak as God individualized. Not as a mortal being hoping for good, but as the divine creator declaring what is. Second, there is feeling. Your blessings must be accompanied by the feeling of their fulfillment. When you say, I am blessed with perfect health, you must feel the vitality, the strength, the well-being that this blessing implies. For feeling is the secret of creation. Third, there is acceptance. You must accept that your blessing is already fulfilled in consciousness. Not that it will be, not that it might be, but that it is. For consciousness is the only reality, and what you accept in consciousness must externalize itself in your world. Many of you make the mistake of blessing yourself while looking at your current circumstances. But I tell you now, circumstances have no power over your blessings unless you give them that power. Your blessings create circumstances, not the other way around. Let me share with you a profound truth about self-blessing that most of the world has missed. When you bless yourself, you are not asking for something to be given to you. You are acknowledging what is already yours by divine right. For all blessings already exist in consciousness, waiting to be acknowledged and claimed. Consider the words of Scripture before they call. I will answer. This means that every blessing you could ever speak upon yourself already exists in consciousness. Your speaking of the blessing is not creating it. It is acknowledging and claiming what already is. Let me share with you how to maintain the consciousness of your self-blessings throughout your day. Most people speak a blessing and then return to their old patterns of thought. But I tell you now, your blessing must become your constant inner conversation. I think about this carefully. Every time you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are literally rearranging the entire spiritual substance of your universe. For your consciousness is God, and what God blesses must manifest. Let me give you some specific blessings that I have found particularly powerful. First, I am blessed with perfect understanding of my own divine nature. This blessing opens the door to all other blessings, for when you truly understand your divine nature, all things become possible. Second, I am blessed with the constant awareness of my creative power. This blessing keeps you mindful of your true identity as God individualized. For you see, most people forget their divine nature and slip back into mortal thinking. Third, I am blessed with the ability to see past appearances to the truth of being. This blessing helps you maintain your focus on the reality of consciousness rather than the shadows of circumstances. Consider how these blessings work together. Each one strengthens the others, creating a powerful foundation for all your other blessings. For when you truly understand your divine nature, are aware of your creative power, and can see past appearances, you become a master of conscious creation. Many of you may be wondering how often to speak these blessings. Let me tell you something. It's not about frequency, it's about consciousness. One blessing spoken with complete understanding and feeling is worth more than 1,000 spoken mechanically. Let me share with you another principle about self-blessing that most people miss. When you bless yourself, you are not speaking to yourself as a mortal being, you are speaking as God to his creation. For you are both the blesser and the blessed, the creator and the creation. Think about this carefully. When God said, "Let there be light," he didn't doubt whether it was possible. He didn't wonder about the process. He simply declared it and knew it was done. This is exactly how you must speak your blessings upon yourself. Consider the power in this understanding. When you say, "I am blessed," you are speaking with the same authority that created the universe. For your I am is the same I am that spoke all things into being. Let me share with you how to handle doubts when they arise after speaking your blessings, and they will arise. Many of you speak a blessing upon yourself and then immediately begin to question whether it will work. But I tell you now, doubt is simply your former consciousness trying to maintain its position. Consider what happens in nature when you plant a seed. The seed doesn't doubt whether it will become what it is meant to be. It simply begins its transformation according to its nature. Your blessings work the same way. They are spiritual seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. Let me give you a deeper understanding of how this works. When you say, I am blessed with perfect health, for example, you have planted a seed in consciousness. Now, just as a physical seed needs time to sprout and grow, your blessing needs time to externalize itself in your world. And this is crucial, while the outer manifestation may take change in consciousness is immediate when the blessing is properly spoken. For you see, the moment you speak a blessing with understanding and feeling, you have altered the entire spiritual substance of your universe. Many of you may be thinking, "But Neville, I've spoken blessings before and nothing changed." Let me tell you something my teacher Abdullah taught me. Nothing changes because you spoke the words. Things change because you became what you declare. Let me share with you another principle about self-blessing that most of the world has missed. When you bless yourself, you are not trying to influence God to give you something. You are exercising your divine power as God individualized. For your consciousness is God and your word is his word. Consider the story of the prodigal son. Notice how the father didn't wait for someone else to bless his returning son. He blessed him himself. This is exactly what you must do. You must be both the father giving the blessing and the son receiving it. This brings me to a deeper truth about self-blessing. When you say I am blessings, you are acknowledging both your divine nature, I am, and your human experience, blessed. You are bringing heaven and earth together in your consciousness. Let me share with you what I call the 7 pillars of self-blessing. These are the foundational principles that must be understood if your blessings are to have their full creative power. The first pillar is recognition. You must recognize that you are the one who blesses. Not your personality, not your mortal self, but your I am. For when you say I am blessed, you're speaking as God individualized, not as a mortal being seeking favors. The second pillar is authority. When you bless yourself, you must speak with complete authority. Consider how God speaks in Scripture, not with doubt, not with hesitation, but with absolute authority. Let there be light. These are words of complete authority. The third pillar is feeling. Your blessings must be accompanied by the feeling of fulfillment. Not the feeling of wanting to be blessed, but the feeling of being blessed. For feeling is the secret. And without the proper feeling, your words lack power. The fourth pillar is present tense. Notice how God never said there will be light. He said, let there be light. Your blessings must be spoken in the present tense, for consciousness knows only now. The fifth pillar is persistence. Not the persistence of mechanical repetition, but the persistence of maintaining the consciousness of being blessed. For your blessing must become your dominant state of consciousness. The sixth pillar is understanding. You must understand that your blessing is not creating something new. It is acknowledging what already exists in consciousness. For all blessings already exist in the spiritual realm, waiting to be claimed. And the seventh pillar is gratitude. When you bless yourself, you must feel grateful not for what will come, but for what already is. For gratitude is the evidence of faith, and faith is the substance of things hoped for. Let me share with you how these 7 pillars work together. When you recognize your true identity as God individualized, speak with divine authority, feel the reality of your blessing, maintain present tense awareness, persist in the consciousness, understand the principle, and feel genuine gratitude, your blessing must manifest. Consider how this differs from what most people do. Most people speak blessings from their mortal consciousness, with doubt in their voice, feeling the lack rather than the fulfillment, thinking of future fulfillment, giving up at the first sign of delay, lacking understanding of the principle, and feeling no gratitude until they see results. Let me share with you what I call the 3 stages of self-blessing manifestation. Most people don't understand these stages, and that's why they often give up before their blessings manifest. The first stage is spiritual. This happens instantly when you speak your blessing with understanding and feeling. In this stage, you have literally rearranged the spiritual substance of your universe. This is the most crucial stage, for it is the only stage where real creation takes place. The second stage is mental. This is where your mind begins to align with your blessing. You start to think differently, see opportunities differently, and respond to life differently. Many people mistake this for mere positive thinking, but I tell you now, it is far more than that. It is your consciousness reorganizing itself according to your blessing. The third stage is physical. This is where your outer world begins to reflect your blessing. Now, here's what's fascinating about these stages. They must occur in this order. You cannot skip the spiritual stage and go straight to the physical. You cannot bypass the mental stage and expect outer results. Consider the words of Scripture, first the blade, then the ear, after that the full corn in the ear. This is describing these 3 stages. The blade is the spiritual acceptance. The ear is the mental alignment. And the full corn is the physical manifestation. Let me share with you how to recognize when you're in each stage. In the spiritual stage, you feel an inner knowing, a deep peace about your blessing. There might be no outer evidence yet, but you know it is done. In the mental stage, you begin to think thoughts that align with your blessing naturally, without effort. If you've blessed yourself with abundance, for example, you naturally begin to think abundant thoughts. If you blessed yourself with health, you naturally begin to think healthy thoughts. In the physical stage, your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your blessing. But, and this is crucial, by the time you reach this stage, you're no longer anxious about it. For you see, you've already experienced the reality of reality in consciousness. Let me give you a deeper understanding of how these stages work together. When you say, I am blessed with perfect health, you instantly create this reality in the spiritual realm. This is stage one. Then your mind begins to align with this new reality. You begin to think like a healthy person, act like a healthy person, make decisions like a healthy person. This is stage two. Finally, your body and circumstances begin to reflect this new reality. But by this time, you're no longer desperate to happen because you've been living in the Copernician conscious, both perfect teachers 1 and 2. Many of you make the mistake of looking for physical evidence before you've allowed the spiritual and mental stages to complete their work. But I tell you now, this is like digging up a seed to see if it's growing. You must allow each stage to unfold in its perfect timing. Let me share with you what I call the 4 states of consciousness in self-blessing. Understanding these states is crucial, for your blessing will manifest according to the state from which you speak it. The first state is the state of desire. This is where most people begin. They speak blessings from a consciousness of wanting, of needing, of lacking. But I tell you now, this state cannot produce results, for it perpetuates the very lack it seeks to overcome. The second state is the state of hope. This is better than desire, but still not powerful enough. When you speak blessings from hope, you are acknowledging that fulfillment is possible, but you haven't yet accepted it as fact in consciousness. The third state is the state of faith. Now we're moving into creative power. When you speak blessings from faith, you are speaking with conviction, with certainty, with knowing. But there's an even higher state. The fourth state is the state of knowing. This is the highest state, the state from which God creates. When you speak blessings from this state, you are speaking as God individualized, knowing that what you declare must manifest. Consider how these states progress. In the state of desire, you say, I want to be blessed. In the state of hope, you say, I might be blessed. In the state of faith, you say, I will be blessed. But in the state of knowing, you simply say, I am blessed. Let me share with you how to move from one state to another. The movement from desire to hope happens naturally as you study and understand the law. The movement from hope to faith happens through testing the law and seeing results. But the movement from faith to knowing, this is the crucial transition. The state of knowing comes when you fully realize your own divine nature. When you understand that you are God individualized, that your consciousness is the only reality, that your word is God's word, then you naturally speak blessings from the state of knowing. Many of you may be wondering how to achieve this state of knowing. Let me tell you something, it's not achieved. It's recognized. It's not something you become, it's something you already are. Your task is to remove the veils that hide this truth from your awareness. Let me share with you what I call the 5 proofs of effective self-blessing. These are the signs that tell you your blessing is taking root in consciousness and must therefore manifest in your world. The first proof is peace. When you've spoken of blessing effectively, you feel a deep peace about it. Not the peace of resignation, but the peace of knowing. For you see, when you truly know something is done in consciousness, all anxiety about it disappears. The second proof is naturalness. Your blessing begins to feel natural to you. You no longer have to convince yourself of it. It becomes as natural as breathing, as natural as your own name. The third proof is indifference to appearances. You find yourself unmoved by contradictory circumstances, not because you're practicing positive thinking, but because you know the reality exists in consciousness, not in appearance. The fourth proof is changed inner conversation. Your habitual thoughts and internal dialogue naturally align with your blessing. You don't have to force it. It happens spontaneously because consciousness always produces thoughts that match its state. The fifth proof is inspired action. You find yourself naturally taking actions that align with your blessing, not from effort or planning, but from an inner prompting that feels completely natural. Remember, dear friends, that speaking blessings upon yourself is not an act of egotism. It is an acknowledgement of your divine nature. For you are God individualized, and your word has all the creative power of the universe behind it when spoken from that understanding. Let the truth of this sink deep into your consciousness. You are blessed, not because someone else blessed you, but because you have recognized and claimed your divine inherent through the power of self-blessing. That's the message I want to leave with you tonight. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's true. Not because it's what you expected to hear, but because it's what you needed to hear. Remember, your blessings create your reality when spoken from the consciousness of who you really are. And isn't that worth thinking about?